Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Jasmine's First Impression Sports Talk. We have a lot to get into, especially the big hoopla that happened yesterday in NFL, so let's get started.
Welcome to Jasmine Pollock's First Impression Sports Talk, the fastest growing sports talk show in the country. And now, here's your host, Jasmine Pollock.
Welcome back to Jasmine's First Impression Sports Talk. And to kick the night off, we're going to talk about the biggest and most egregious play call that we've ever seen. One of the penalties that probably shook the whole sports world as a whole yesterday. So let's bring in Jeremiah and let's bring in Cole. We're going to get into the roughing the passer call that was called against Jarrett, the defender, on Tom Brady. So let's run the clip just to show the viewers how bad this call was. So we see during the game, the Bucs had pretty much had the upper hand the whole game until that fourth quarter. You see the Falcons start to get a roll on. Fourth quarter happens. As you can see, the Falcons are making a comeback. Defense is playing out of their minds, and they make a sack on a 3rd and 5 play. Look at this play, you guys. How is this roughing the passer? How is it? Now, Cole, I want to start with you. What was your reaction to this, and should we be able to review plays like this?
All I'm going to say is that is a terrible call. So, but it's not surprising because if you put a hand on Tom Brady, you're going to get called.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the unfortunate truth.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't be like that, but that's the way it is. Now, let me also, too, pick out a play in another game to show everyone how ridiculous the NFL officiating is. Kenny Pickett goes down for a slide, slides, and gets hit. That's not a penalty. That is somehow legal. But Grady Jarrett of the Atlanta Falcons, perfectly clean sack on Brady. There is no way that is roughing the passer, but he gets called for roughing the passer. So how does he supposed to hit him? Does he have to play two-hand touch with Tom Brady? Tom Brady's not allowed to get hit? It's football. This league is starting to become a joke. And it is a joke. The NFL has been awful this year. The officiating has been awful for the past couple of years. And I think the fans are really starting to get sick of it.
Yes, and that is including me.
There is just so much wrong with NFL officiating. It is not consistent at all. It's garbage, and this league is starting to become garbage.
Some strong words, Cole. I mean, like I said before, I've been saying this for the past couple of weeks, especially this week. That play right there, I think, like I said, was the nail in the coffin for me. I'm not really impressed with the NFL, even though this is one of the most exciting sports franchises in the country. And it's starting to get worldwide. People are starting to get tuned into it. And plays like that just cannot happen. I mean, a young defender is trying to make a play for his team to get the ball back to the offense because the Bucs defense was not stopping Mariota in that offense. They had no answers. They stormed back from being down 21-0. And they go for the 2-point conversion in the fourth, and they end up getting it. It's a 6-point game. Defense came to play in the fourth quarter for the Atlanta Falcons, and that play call could have jeopardized them the lead in the division because they both were competing for the leads in the division, and you took it from them. And it irritates me because and then on top of that, after the sack, which it was a sack, Tom Brady looks at the official, like he's supposed to get called for something, and then you throw the flag. Oh, what was the call on? Oh, it was roughing the passer. What are you looking for a flag for, Brady? You've been playing in this league for as long as I've been alive. You've seen plays. You've been playing football for years, and you're looking for a flag on that play? I was so irritated because, for one, I don't like when games are decided by officials unless you really, really have to. The game should be decided by coaches. It should be decided by the players who are playing the game, not the refs. So I was really irritated about that. And it's like, can these plays be reviewed And I think they should. You review everything else. You review turnovers. You review scoring plays. Can't coach just say, you know what, I'm going to throw the challenge flag on that. I do not think that was roughing the passer, because that swings the whole momentum of the game, which was towards the Atlanta Falcons. So it's just irritating. But what I heard from all the sports talk today, from Undisputed, First Take, and all these sports shows, was that the penalty has a lot to do with what the Tua concussion protocol, because we know the concussion protocol went into effect yesterday, and and a play like that could have caused Tom Brady to be injured, which he didn't hit his head. But it doesn't matter, because in the same game, I'll give you guys another one. In the same game, the second half, one of the defenders for the Atlanta Falcons hits Brady low, and the ball's already out of Brady's hands. They didn't call roughing the passer then. But on the last play like that, when you're doing something like that, when it's third down and the team has to get the first down or they have to punt the ball, you call it that, and it's a simple sack. I mean, Aaron Donald sacks the quarterback the same way. They don't call him for that. So it's just a lot of issues that I have, and I feel bad for the Atlanta Falcons because they were robbed. I believe 100% they were robbed. But this has always been kind of Tom Brady's career, where there's questionable calls, and he's always on the good end of those calls. So, Jeremiah, to you, what was your reaction to this, and do you think this has a lot to do with what happened with Tua?
I would say in some parts, but not in all parts, because I would say in some parts because they're trying to also protect the quarterback and also protect the player. But at the same time, Brady, when that tackle happened, Brady did not land on his head. He didn't even get slammed hard in a way that he was just, standing still, had a certain injury. It was a normal takedown. He wrapped him up and he took him down, and he even rolled him over on, like, the defender was on the ground and just rolled Tom Brady over on the side. It wasn't
Jeremiah, give me 1 second. Can we roll the tape again to show the people again that he didn't hit his head? Can we see this again? Please. I want everyone at home watch this play.
He didn't charge at his
roughing
head.
The passer?
He didn't make any head contact with him, even when he got towards Brady. It was a simple wrap up, and he took him down like a regular defender. Look, this is a regular sack, and then you would say it's a loss of down. But because Brady went on this complaining rampage afterwards and was kicking, they was like, oh, we're just give it to him. But if it was any other quarterback, really, would they make that same call? That's my thing at the end of the day. When it comes to the NFL, they're not always showing the same energy when it comes to every single team. It's always you got to be a big name in order to get certain calls.
And then another thing. So the referee, after the game, so they asked him about it. He says he thinks that the defender threw Tom Brady down unnecessarily. Cole, what do you mean throw him down unnecessarily? What are you talking about?
The only thing I'm going to say to that ref is, yo, dude, is this tackle football or is it flag football? That's the only thing I have to say. This whole new thing with the concussion protocol, yeah, we need to take concussions a lot more seriously in the NFL. But what happened to Tua was totally preventable. All you have to do is follow it when he got injured against the Bills and take him out. But I guess, some of those doctors just had no common sense, stuff like that. But, it's normal. It's the NFL. The NFL is starting to become garbage. I already said it, and it is.
Yes, I agree.
They're turned to cupcake.
Officiating is totally inconsistent. Now, the only point I'm trying to make is I'm a Steelers fan. I watched Kenny Pickett goes down for a slide, and then when he slid, guy comes over and hits him. So that's not a penalty. That is considered legal. Anyone care to explain? The NFL can't explain this garbage.
At all.
Because what they're doing right now is the officiating sucks. It's been like this way for years. I'm so sick and tired of this, and I don't want to see games decided by officiating. Games should be decided on the field with the teams at play. Not a call that is not even close to a penalty. It's a clean hit. It is football. There is going to be physicality in it, and there's going to – just because something also, too, someone goes and hits them hard doesn't mean it's a penalty.
Exactly.
It's the same way with hockey. It's the same way with other physical sports. NFL
Thank
better
you.
get their stuff together because I hate to say it, people are getting really sick and tired of it. Because a lot of the games this year, I'm not impressed.
At all. Sloppy football. And then on top of that, to add to it not being roughing the passers, Brady is starting to scramble. And the kid is chasing him and trying to sling him down, because you see these quarterbacks, they step outside the pocket and they might throw something down the field. Receiver ends up being down there. What was the kid supposed to do? But I hope the NFL gets this fixed, because as a fan, I'm disappointed. And I hear Jeremiah and Cole, I know you guys are disappointed, and the fans at home are sick of this, because you're causing issues now. Now it's out of the players' hands now. Now it's the officiating's fault now. It's annoying and it needs to be fixed. But we're going to head into the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, Cole, I'm so sorry. All of our hearts are bleeding right now, because all of our teams did not do what they were supposed to do yesterday. Cole, 38-3. Talk to me. What went down? What happened?
There's not a lot I can say, but I'm just going to say it anything. In my notes, they did nothing well. You lost 38-3. You sucked all the way around. Just going to keep it completely honest. The team isn't very good. I know, but they're the Steelers. They're gonna get 500 this year. No, they're not. What if you have watched any of the games? What have they done to show that they are going to be a 500 team? They aren't doing anything well. In their past 5 drafts, they've been horrible. Fans need to start recognizing it. Go and look at some of these draft picks that they have. It has been awful. I can even show a little bit of proof of how bad their drafts have been. Let me pull up Twitter here for a second.
Take your time. Definitely take your time, because there's a lot of questions that I have, because the Steelers are one of those franchises that we look to and say, hey, it's one of the more storied franchises. A lot of Hall of Famers came out of there. So, Cole, just talk for all Steelers fans.
Yep.
Talk for all Steelers.
Yep. So this is my buddy Adam from at home in Morris, PA, made this. 2015 first round, Bud Dupree, decent, gone. Senquez Golson, he was a bust. Sammy Coates, gone. He's a bust. Doran Grant, gone. 2015, nobody's on the team anymore. 2016, Artie Burns, first round, bust. Sean Davis, gone. Hargrave, he was a good player. He's gone. Gerald Hawkins, gone. 2017, this was a good draft for them. They took TJ Watt in the first round. They got Juju, good pick, but he's gone. Cam Sutton, good pick, still there. Connor was a good pick, he's gone. And Dobbs was just a waste of a draft pick. 2018, Terrell Edmonds, he's okay. James Washington, bust. Mason Rudolph, he's a bust. Chooks Okorafor, he sucks. Devin Bush, bust. Deontay is overrated. Can he catch a football? Please?
Yes, that's a big question. Can he catch football?
I don't think he can, and he's not a number 1 receiver. They gave him way too much money. Justin Lane, bust. Benny Snell, bust. 2020, Claypool, he's overrated. I think he's a bust as well. What's he done? I think he's a moron on the field, to be completely honest with you. Alex Highsmith, okay, we'll see how. And McFarland, waste. 2021, they took Najee Harris in the first round. What did I say on draft night? You should take an offensive lineman. What has Najee done this year? Nothing. So they don't want to admit it, but their draft lately, for the past 6 years, they've sucked. So maybe now we go and we see the root problem with this team. They don't draft well. And in the NFL, if you don't draft well, you're not going to have a very good team, because teams are built through the draft.
Exactly.
They're not built through free agency and trades. You have to get those players who can become good players in the draft and starters for you. There you go. That's the Steelers' problems. And coaching also. Matt Canada needs to be fired. If there is no accountability for a team losing 38-3 and their offense have been stagnant this entire season, then like what are we doing here? It's the NFL. If you don't perform, you're going to get fired and you're not going to have a job. And you're going to need to go and prove to someone why you should have a job in the NFL.
Well said. So that is from a Steelers fan, everyone. I mean, this is no joke. I mean, even our producer, Jay, he's a Steelers fan. So I feel for you guys. My Packers didn't do well yesterday, but we don't have time to talk about them now. So we're going to head into a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the NBA and NBA predictions and which players have the most pressure. So we'll be right back.
Renting is everything. It's style at your doorstep. Off the runway and into your closet. It's every trend you've been dying to try and every designer you've yet to discover. It's wearing it your way every time and making it count everywhere you go. It's never worrying about what to wear, because something new is always coming your way. That's why renting is everything. New styles, top designers, all for a flat monthly fee. Start your subscription at renttherunway.com.
Slow roasted over hickory fire and pulled by hand. This is the way pit pork has always been done. Pulled pork lovers, rejoice. The smoky old days are back at the Smoke Shack. From the creative team that brought you the Browning Project and Dead by Morning comes a new thriller that will change the way you look at white-collar crime forever. Falling from the Sky.
You're watching Jasmine Pollock's First Impressions Sports Talk. Be sure to join Jasmine every week for great conversation on the NBA, NFL, and a wide variety of sports topics. To see past episodes of First Impressions Sports Talk, go to YouTube and search First Impressions Sports Talk. You can connect with Jasmine on LinkedIn by searching Jasmine Pollock. And now, back to more First Impressions Sports Talk.
Welcome back to Jasmine's First Impressions Sports Talk. And the voices you just heard were from Kelly Johnson and Deion Hunter. If you would like voiceover work done for your projects, you can go to the Leon Thomas Group and get in contact with Leon Thomas. If you'd like to be a guest on my show and see past episodes of my show, you can go to my website at jasmineonsports.com. So let's bring in Jeremiah. So the second segment we're going to talk about is the NBA. So Jeremiah, being that what we just talked about last segment with Cole, how the NFL is not really doing as much and we're not really excited or happy about what's going on, what are your expectations for the NBA season? And, what are some of your predictions?
Well, when it comes to my prediction, for me, I have, first of all, the Lakers are going to do way better than they did last season. Okay. I have them doing way better. I would have them at least making the playoffs and everything else. For the Miami Heat, my team in the 305, I have them getting back to our spot, but I know that a lot of people did leave, like PJ Tucker and other big ones, and we're starting to get back into our groove. But one thing about Miami, they always find a way to be there.
Yes.
But the ones that I feel like are everybody's gonna have the big eyes on that needs to be proving is the whole Brooklyn Nets roster.
Thank you.
Because you guys have everybody back. There's no more pandemic anymore. Kyrie said he's all in. Durant said he's all in there. There's no more trading and everything else going on. What is about to happen? You have Ben Simmons back. And this is my thing. You can't just make the playoffs, go to no Eastern Conference final it has to be championship. Am I wrong, Jasmine?
You're not. Time is actually ticking for Kevin Durant. And that was one of my biggest predictions. When I look at this Brooklyn Nets team, you know, there was so much turmoil in the past few years when KD, Kyrie, and Harden were there, and then the swap between the Sixers and them for Ben Simmons, and then they send James Harden over there. And, Ben Simmons already has his own situation going on with the shooting stuff, his back injury, all of that. This team is full of nothing but distractions. And it's really disappointing because I do feel bad for Steve Nash. He's just a coach trying to get there. He's a proven player in this league, and he's just trying to put this team together and just prove himself. And these players, are not giving him that benefit. They're not helping him out with that. And for Kevin Durant, I don't want to hear people say he's a leader anymore, because he is not. He is not a leader of that team, because a leader does not do that. A leader does not say, or starts complaining and goes on the internet and starts doing all these different things, causing issues with the organization. And then, I'm back. No. So the Brooklyn Nets are in hot water. I really want to see what Brooklyn's going to do, because for Kevin Durant, now Kyrie Irving's a little different. His situation is a little different. But for Durant, after leaving Golden State, and Golden State just is coming off a championship win, and now everyone's looking at you. So, Curry did it without you.
You're on the 3-year deal right now. Kyrie can just leave. After this year, he can just leave. Just like how Westbrook is on his last year, they can just leave right afterwards. Durant, you chose to be there, and you signed a max deal. You don't have Blake Griffin there no more.
Nope.
You guys have Ben Simmons right now that you're stuck with. So who knows how that's really going to go at the end of the day. But one thing I can say, though, I would say my underrated team that I feel like is going to be a great dark horse, but also had a great season last year and got a little bit close, is probably the Dallas Mavericks. A lot of people are probably going to overlook them because, they're just like maybe a one-man show with Luka. But how Jason Kidd did his first year with Dallas, to where they picked up their defense when they was playing the Suns and made a true identity and actually pushed them more, I think is going to instill in them this year that, we was on the verge of getting to that next step. Now, they can actually get to that next step if they just apply themselves. Now, you already know that the contenders are going to be, of course, Golden State and the veteran ones that, has been there, done that. But as a young team, I think they can get over the hump just of that defensive mindset.
Mm-hmm. Now, one team that I want to give them a dark horse, but it's just about injuries, is the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, we saw what they did last year without Ja, and we saw that they were able to win 20 games without him. But he is their number one guy. He is the face of that franchise. And I want to give them that dark horse. They had a great season, to start out. But it's like, can Ja Morant be healthy? Can he come playoff time, deep in the playoffs, the second round, can he be healthy? And that is yet to be seen. So I really want to see what they're going to do. But I'll put them as a dark horse. And then, of course, I like the Dallas Mavericks. I think Luka's one of the best young players that we have in this league. I'm really excited for him. But not to mention, I'm going to say one more team, the champions from 2 years ago, the Milwaukee Bucks. I think Giannis is upset. I think he is like, man, people forgot. Now, I predicted them not going back last year. I did predict that. I said, I don't think they're going to be back next year, but in the coming years, watch out for the Milwaukee Bucks. Chris Middleton got injured.
And that was a big piece to them.
Exactly.
It could have went all the way, to be honest.
So now I'm looking at them. I look at how they're stacked up. I look at how Giannis is going to come back stronger. I think Chris Middleton is going to come back healthier. Watch out for the Milwaukee Bucks. And then another team that we have questions about. Now I have a lot of questions is, of course, the Boston Celtics. We heard about the news about the coach, Ime Udoka, and what he did. But how is that going to have an effect on the team? What are we going to see from this Boston Celtics team after having that meltdown in the finals? Jeremiah, what are your expectations for the Celtics? Can they get back to that status? Or what do you think Ime Udoka's situation is going to affect this team greatly?
I will always say when it comes to NBA or NFL team, it is always hard to get back to the championship or just even the finals games, because in order for you guys to do what you did last year, you have to bring it back and do it all over again to so many that watched you and just say, okay, we understand what you guys are doing now. We're going to apply ourselves. We're going to get better and everything else. When it comes to the Celtics right now, I worry about them because they have a leader. Difficulty. I feel like they don't know who is the alpha in the whole team. They think sometimes it's Jason Tatum, sometimes they think it's Jaylen Brown, and you can't do that. You there has to be one alpha inside your team that is your leader that says, okay, follow me.
Right.
Whenever we go in. And that's how they really struggle to even win against the Warriors. You didn't know who was going to lead.
Right. I think everyone was thinking it was Jason Tatum, but when we saw him in the finals against the Warriors, I think we said, I don't know about Jason Tatum. We don't know if he has that clutch gene or that dog gene. Now, I saw that from Jaylen, for sure. Jaylen was there. Jaylen Brown, he competed. He was playing defense, scoring. He was doing a lot of different things for the team. Not to say Jason Tatum isn't a good young player. He's one of the good young players in our league. But the question mark is when you are playing in the finals, this is your first finals appearance, and I get you're nervous and different things like that, but you're playing against the Warriors and what they stand for without Kevin Durant. You got to go in there and you have to say, you know what, I'm here.
Handle yourself.
Yes. And exactly. The Celtics have always been around. They've always went to the conference finals, but could never get past the conference finals. They finally broke the barrier and they laid an egg.
And then it's like you guys folded after, the first game. And then the decision making when it comes to everything. Now, speaking of decision making, I wanted to ask you, because I was going to answer myself, who do you think, for your prediction, is going to be the MVP for this
season?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Wait, I would say a big man or a guard.
I'm gonna say a guard.
A guard.
I think. I'm going to say it. I think LeBron is going to try to go for the MVP 100% because I think that LeBron is going to definitely go in there, and there's always questions. Of course, there's going to be questions about the Lakers and seeing what the Lakers are going to do, which I think I agree with you. I think they're going to do a lot better. They add Patrick Beverley, who's going to boost that defense. Then they got the assistant coach from the Milwaukee Bucks, and I think it's going to be good for them. But I think year 20. How he's playing, especially how he looked in preseason, I am really, really excited for what LeBron's going to bring. I think LeBron is going to really have a great shot at winning the MVP. I think this man said, he's been playing for a long time. And he's finally saying, I'm going to show these guys I can still do it. I mean, we're still having conversations about him being in the top 5 and being in the top 10. We're still having those conversations.
Yeah.
But Jeremiah, final question.
Yeah.
The Lakers and Russell Westbrook. What's going to happen with that? They tried to trade him. This is his final year on the contract. What's going to happen with the Lakers? Are they going to trade him? Because I know he's not happy about Patrick Beverley being there. I know for a fact he's not.
Listen, I think that this is going to be Russ's comeback year, but I'm going to say if everything doesn't go good at the beginning, I believe the Lakers will be like, okay, let's get Buddy Hield and everybody. Now we'll give up those 2 picks, which I think they should have did before, but still at the same time, either team that Russ is going to be on, I feel like he's going to have a way better season than he did have last year. I think more so he was more in his head. I'm not going to say that he was not, terrible in all aspects with his selfishness. He was terrible. But at the same time, I feel like most of that was mostly playing inside of his head, trying to prove too much when it's like you have to play within the team. Because we already know that he's a talented player, but he has to know that you have to play your role how the team wants you to play your role. You can still do your thing, but you have to adjust. And that's the thing that happens.
I'm going to be honest, Jeremiah. I like Westbrook. I really do, but I think this is his last hurrah. I think he's been bounced around for a couple years, and he has not proven that he can change his game. I don't know if Patrick Beverley may motivate him or a form or fashion like that, because I think Patrick Beverley is going to get some very serviceable minutes. I think he's going to get some big minutes playing in these games because you know what he means on defense. And He can be streaky on the 3-point line and scoring. He can give you a quick 10 points if he wanted to. But for Russell, I don't know if he's going to change. I don't know if he's going to change his playing.
Yeah, I do agree, because it just can't be, only about Westbrook. You have to think about everybody else when it comes to the whole team, all the aspects. Because as a player for the Lakers, is more than self, is more, is the team. This is a huge dynasty, just like how we was talking about the Celtics before. This is a huge dynasty when it comes to everything of the NBA for the Lakers. And I like you just said, I hope that the Lakers get it together, especially with Russell, and they try to make it work. But at the end of the day, I think they're gonna go forward. I know we lost Jasmine right here, but again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and make sure to keep catching Jasmine on First Impressions. You guys have a great night.